This episode is brought to you by Experian. Are you paying for subscriptions you don't use but can't find the time or energy to cancel them? Experian could cancel unwanted subscriptions for you, saving you an average of $270 per year and plenty of time. Download the Experian app. Results will vary. Not all subscriptions are eligible. Savings are not guaranteed. Paid membership with connected payment account required.
If you're an athlete, you know the greatest motivator of all is the fear of letting your teammates down. After all, a team is only as good as its weakest link. So you owe it to those wearing the same jersey as you to be your best every time you step on the field. That's why there's no vape in Team. When you vape, you can expose your lungs to toxic chemicals that can damage your lungs. If you're a step behind, the team's a step behind. Brought to you by The Real Cost and the FDA.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I wanted to overall talk on a trend that I'm seeing a lot, and it's honestly starting to get annoying. Every video game, I feel like that gets this like worldwide coverage. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's hyped over it. Anytime when you, I guess like more so for me, like I'm more into PC gaming than console gaming, but every time you open up Steam or if you're looking at YouTube videos for like games that are, you know, coming out this year or next year or whenever, it seems like every game that gets this like big media coverage is an extraction shooter. Did I miss something? Like, is there a challenge that, like a secret challenge that's going on where, hey, if you make the best extraction shooter game, you win like $10 million? Because if that's the case, then okay, cool. Make as many, however many extraction shooter games you want to make. But if there's not, what's up with this trend of everybody making an extraction shooter? Because I feel like it's a lot of like indie developers, and then at some point in time it's gonna be bigger developers, and then they're gonna start making extraction shooter games. And I'm like, I don't know where all of this, well, I feel like it did start with Escape from Tarkov, but I mean there was other like extraction shooter like games that already existed. But I just feel like that there's just so many of them that's coming out now. Like, I feel like some of the biggest games that I've seen come out this year have just been nothing but extraction shooters. There's this one game that people were hyping up called Gray Zone Warfare. That's an extraction shooter. There's this other game called Project Elite. That's an extraction shooter. I'm trying to think of I played this one game yesterday. What was the name of that game? Because I do have Steam open, and it's like the latest extraction. It's like Level 0 Extraction. I think that was the name of it. Hold on for a second. Let me just make sure of it. Because I don't want to be out here. I guess some people, they might be into extraction shooters. But with me, I'm just getting to a point where that was the name of the game. Level 0 Extraction. And I'm getting to a point where I'm getting tired of these extraction shooters. I'm like, fam, there are so many different genres out there. This is just talking to any developer. You do not have to make an extraction shooter. You don't. I'm saying, like, there's so many different genres that you could get into. Because my thing is this. If I know that, like, that's, like, the biggest genre that everybody's talking about and promoting and all that, I'm like, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a game outside of the extraction shooter genre, so I know that my game is going to be getting plays more. I mean, I guess, like, at the end of the day, people are going to be thinking along the lines, like, you know, you should make a game where everybody is, like, you know, like, it's the trending genre. Nah, fam. I feel like games it didn't work like that in the past. I don't know why it should work like that now. Because when Grand Theft Auto was coming out, you didn't see everybody out there making Grand Theft Auto games. When Gran Turismo was coming out, you didn't see everybody out there making Gran Turismo-like games. Where's some other big popular games that came out back then? But I'm just saying, like, even with The Sims, you didn't see, if you wanted to play a game like The Sims, you played The Sims. If you wanted to play a game like Grand Theft Auto, you played Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, there might have been like one, two, I feel like with racing, yeah, it's like you've seen a lot of different racing games, but they were different. They were unique. It wasn't like, oh, let's just make another Gran Turismo, copy and paste and call it something else. Let's call it Trangurismo. Fam, I'm saying it doesn't need to be exactly like whatever game that already exists. And one game in particular where I had to say I do like their way of how they do extractions on there is The Division. That's one game where I'm like, I can get with that extraction shooter game. But that's the thing. Everybody wants to make this over-the-top challenging extraction shooter games. And that's the crazy thing about it is that, so they'll add it in there where you go up against like AIs and stuff. At least in the Division, they did have it where you can take out the enemies no problem. You know, they let you know which weapons were good for the Dark Zone, because that's what they call it in there. But yeah, they let you know what weapons were good, what weapons were bad, what areas you need to go to, what areas you should avoid. Like, they actually, you can learn that information. I feel like with the games today, the extraction shooter games today, if you try to go and watch a YouTube video about whatever, the thing is this. I feel that with YouTube videos, when somebody makes a video like, so like, let's just use Gray Zone Warfare for an example. Somebody's like, oh, this is the best weapon to get. Yeah, that's the weapon that they like. But that might not be overall the best weapon for you. Meanwhile, with the Division, yeah, if there was a weapon in there that did all this crazy damage and it took out enemies no problem, you knew that was like, yeah, if you use it for yourself. But I feel like weapons, it's like they're not talking on like other extraction shooter games. Well, I don't know. I feel like that I've always have like given up, because anytime when I see if I'm playing an extraction shooter, I'm like, nah, bro, I'm just gonna go and play something else, because it's the same game. At least I guess more so with like, not even talking with the weapons, but just gameplay wise, I just feel like I'm playing another Escape from Tarkov. It doesn't really feel like a, you know, like a mixture of Escape from Tarkov and DayZ. And I'm thinking to myself, like, fam, I have Escape from Tarkov. I have DayZ. If I wanted to play those games, I will play those games. But it really trips me out where there's a lot of developers where they can't think of something different. They want to just pretty much just copy and paste what another game already did. And I'm like, fam, that's not what gaming is. That's honestly, that's something that I will bring up to developers that's just making a bunch of different extraction shooters today. I'm like, how is it for you when you play video games growing up? When just talking to that person that had over, because I know for me, I had over 100 different video games on my PlayStation 2 back when I was a kid. None of those games were the same. Each individual game was different, unless it was like a direct sequel from another game. But even then, that game was different. It was different than the last one. When I played Grand Theft Auto 3, that was Grand Theft Auto 3. When I played Grand Theft Auto Vice Cities, that was Vice Cities. When I played San Andreas, that was the best Grand Theft Auto game that I had ever played in my whole life. But that game was different in its own way. Yeah, it might have been made by the same company, but it was different. You know, whether it was the missions, whether it was the story, and I feel like that with these games, it's like none of them are different. Project Elite ain't no different than Gray Zone Warfare. You start off in an area, you go out into another area to, I guess, get items to extract. You die, you lose all your stuff, you gotta start all over again. That's what I don't, and that's honestly, to me, it's like when I think of like video games, I think of like, yeah, you know, there are some video games where they might have it where you guys start all over and stuff, but at least you get to keep your stuff. That's the thing that I just don't like about extraction shooter games. Hold on for a second, because I'm like, there's this number that keep calling me, and I'm like, no, let me just go ahead. Because like, no, it's like with they're like, they'll go if I don't like hang up, or if I just let the phone just keep on ringing, then they'll leave a message. I'm like, I don't want y'all leaving a message. I'm like, just stop calling me, please, leave me alone, okay? I'm trying to record a podcast episode right now, ranting about extraction shooter games. But anyways, what was I saying? I was like, nah, I got distracted. All right, improvise time, just come up with something else to say. But no, it's like with extraction shooters. Then when I was playing the Division, I know when playing that, they did have it on there where it's all like, you know, you at least, the thing is this, you might not be able to keep the stuff that you get to extract out with, but at least you were able to keep the weapons that you like went into the Dark Zone area. That's one thing that I had to say that I did like about the Division. I'm like, and other games don't do that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, fam, I don't know, maybe there's people out there that like that challenge, they like that, you know, that anxiety of the like playing that type of game. I don't. My thing is this, when I play a video game, I want to be stress-free when playing a video game. But it just seems like developers, that's just like besides this extraction shooter trend, that's also another trend within the gaming community. Let's just make the game as difficult as possible. Because we overall know if the game is easy, people are going to get through the game, no problem about it. They're going to get everything that they need to get. They ain't going to want to play the game. My thing is this. I've been playing the Division 1 and 2 ever since them games came out. I haven't played the Division 1 lately, but I'm just saying, like, you know, I have put more hours into them 2 games than I have any other game, and guess what? Those games are easy. But I will go back and play them games over and over and over again because I have fun with them. My thing is this: when I play a game, I don't play a game to lose. Unless it's a multiplayer game, then that'll be the only way. But it's like, if I'm playing the single player, and I think that's another thing where it's like, okay, if you guys are going to come out with these extraction shooter games, it needs to be multiple stuff to do in the game. I'm saying, like, have it where it's all like, you know, an easy extraction, where it's like, okay, you only leave with like a certain percentage of your stuff, you know, or then medium, where it's like, okay, you leave with your weapons, but you ain't got no ammo. And then if it's like hard, then it's like, oh, okay, then it's like you leave with like nothing. Yeah, you just pretty much, you lose it all. That's how some extraction shooter games, if not all extraction shooter games, should be. But it's like they just make it where it's like Gray Zone Warfare ain't no different than Incursion Red River, and Incursion Red River ain't no different than Project Elite, and Project Elite ain't no different than Level Zone Extraction, or not Zone Zero. But yeah, Level 0 Extraction, the only difference is with that game and the other games is that they have it where there's aliens in there and stuff. So it's like, pretty much, it's like if the people behind the Alien movies had like, yeah, they just decide to come out with some extraction shooter game. That's literally what Level 0 Extraction is. And then that was the thing that I didn't like about Level 0 Extraction, was that they give you a flashlight that works for like 3 minutes in the game, and then when you're in some like dark area, you can't see nothing. I'm like, fam, Sigourney Weaver had more light than I did, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm playing a video game. I should be having fun. And it's like, I really don't get the idea of gaming right now. I just like, this is something that I've been talking on for a while, but I'm like, gaming, I feel like right now, it's at an all-time low. You got where there's people out there that can't be unique, they can't be different. It's like, fam, make a racing game. You know, make make a shooter type game that nobody has never played before. You know, like, it's something where it's like, or it's like, at least if you're gonna make a game based off of something else, do something different. Don't make it after it, because I'm saying, like, after this game, this Level 0 Extraction, no more extraction shooter games need to come out, okay? It's like, okay, focus on something else. Do something else. Make a game like The Division. Make the game like The Sims. Make a game like, but in its own way, though. Like, that's the thing about it. It's like, don't make a game exactly like that game. Make it, because that's one game that I have to say that it does remind me of The Sims, although it does have its issues, and I was actually going to make a video talking about that game, because I do want to play that game again, but I don't like the idea of having it where I gotta be in certain areas of the game to save, and I'm like, no, I should be any and everywhere in that game to be able to save. And then they also need to, there's some things that they need to work on, but anyways, there's this game called Denizen, and it's this simulation type game, but it's like, at least they change it up. They don't have it where it's exactly like The Sims. They have it in there where you're making pizzas, you know, working for like bad people. Like, they have it where you could either be a good or a bad person, but it's like, it's different than The Sims, you know. So let me correct myself. If you're gonna make an extraction shooter game, don't make it exactly like another game. Have it where it's different. Add different modes in there. Have it where it's like that was one thing that I did like about Gray Zone Warfare, was that they had the PvE mode. But it's like, you have it though where it's like people, because I'd rather have it where I spawn in with a team, and then it's like, oh, okay, we we overall just go in together. But it's like, they have it where it's like, people, when you land, everybody just spreads out, and I'm not trying to have it where I'm just going around following people and things. So I'm just saying, it's like, if you are gonna make a game, have it where it also it's for everybody. That's something that I've talked on a few times before too. But yeah, I'm at a point now where I'm all like, I'm getting tired of these extraction shooter games. It's like, it's getting annoying, where it's like, every time you look up, somebody like, oh, new game coming out, and it's like, oh, let me see what this game's all about. Oh, this game is an extraction shooter game, and I'm like, fam, I've played extraction shooter games before. I played way too many of them. I feel like I didn't play more extraction shooter games than this year than I have in my whole life. And I'm like, this is all within a year. All right, let's just overall look up how many extraction shooter games then came out. Because it's like, I feel like you could go in any genre possible and stuff, and then it's like, oh, extraction shooter. But let's just look up the latest. So you got Level 0 Extraction that came out yesterday. You got I know there have been way more extraction shooter games that came out than that. Okay, they out here trying to like lie and be all like, oh, let's just have it only a few of them that came out. No, there's been a lot more than came out after that. Helldivers 2 is not no extraction shooter. Why they don't just have it where it's like games where you can just look it up and just see. This is weird. I don't like how Steam's doing their stuff, because I'm like, y'all done changed up things and you guys didn't even need to change it up. But and you got all these other extraction shooter games that's coming out, and they all just pretty much look the same. They all look the same. They don't look no different. They got another one called Delta Force Hawk Ops. I think they did say that game is gonna have a story mode, but I'm like, oh, okay, I'll probably end up playing more of that than the extraction stuff. Then you got this other one, Arena Breakout Infinite. Then you got some other ones. It's Witchfire. Let's see, this Beautiful Light. I guess that's an extraction shooter. There's like PvPvPe. VE or something. It's like, bruh, just make it where it's like, honestly, I feel like that's something that developers, they're just getting to a point where they don't want to develop too many different things. They just only want to develop one thing, and it's like, fam, you guys aren't Activision, okay? Stop trying to make the next Warzone or whatever you guys are trying to do. Make your own different, unique game. That's it. That's all y'all gotta do. But yeah, man, I'm like, these extraction shooter games, it's just getting to a point where I'm like, I'm getting tired of seeing them. Like, I'm not trying to sound like a hater, but at the same time, it's like, why is every video game that has to come out has to be an extraction shooter game? Let's just name off some other genres that's on Steam real quick. But you got fighting games. Come out with like a street fighting type game, but not like Street Fighters, but like a game where it's like a World Star Hip Hop simulation or something. Like, let's see some adventure. Come out with some adventure games where it's like you just traveling throughout a state, just finding random objects or something. Make like a game based off of Titanic, where you just gotta go throughout the ship and find things within the time it gets ready to sink or something. There's like, let's see, some puzzle. There's a bunch of different puzzle games y'all could come out with. I mean, I'm saying you guys could come out with a prison escape game. But anyways, story rich. I'm telling you, the amount of story games that could come out would be insane. I can even think of some story games myself. But I'm saying, like, you could do one where it's like about a wrestler, where it's like, it ain't even like really like it kind of like how Telltale did The Walking Dead. Yeah, come out with like a WWE like story based game where it's about a wrestler, whether it's new or retiring or something. But anyways, Tower Defense, I'm like, yeah, like, you guys can come out with games like that. Dating games, I guess I don't even know how that will work out, but I'm saying, if y'all want to do that, y'all can do that. Building and automation, you guys could come out with like that's something where I'm all like, I don't really see too much of that, where it's like not kind of like that Sim City, but like you're actually building a building. Like, you're not like, you build a town, but it's like you're building it like brick by brick and stuff. It ain't like, oh, you just place a building there. Like, no, you have it where it's like it's kind of like a construction worker simulator, but like it's just a little bit more in depth in things. Like, you are building like a Seattle or a Los Angeles or a New York City or something. But anyways, what are some others? Space and Flight. I don't know how many Space and Flight games can come out where it's like it could be based on one planet, multiple planets, a whole galaxy, whatever. Sport games, y'all could come out with a basketball game, a football game, a soccer game, a pickleball game, ping pong. I'm saying there's so many different sport games you guys could come out with. Racing, whether it's kart, RC cars, full-blown cars, planes. I'm saying, like, have it where it's like some like Boeing 747s or something, and they racing off up in the skies or something. I'm just, I'm saying. But anime, yeah, you could. That's like theme and stuff. Well, no, come out with some anime games, mystery and detective, open world. I'm saying there's so many different genres out there. It's like you very well can make a game different from every other game that's coming out. But hold on for a second. I think oh, it's like that's just some games. But anyways, they're trying to say like games similar to Gray Zone Warfare, and they got Rainbow Six Siege and Destiny 2. I'd rather play Rainbow Six Siege and Destiny 2 for the rest of my life than to play another extraction shooter. But anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode, and peace.